Alright, yeah. So anyway, I've got a whole lot of parts. Oops, I shouldn't talk so loud because I'm so close to the bloody microphone. Okay, so I've got a whole lot of parts anyway. Yeah. Okay, so I've got a whole lot of parts, and so I've got the bits ready to replace this. I just thought there's a couple of things I just thought I'd say. Is one thing is, like, sometimes UF is actually a PF rating, and the U's sometimes look like P's. So it's something to be aware of. Or sometimes they'll even look like H's and stuff. So there's a few different types for different ratings. It's like kind of like how you have hundreds, thousands, and millions and that kind of stuff. So you got to make sure that you do some research and you get the right you just got to make sure that it says that you know what it says, and you know that what the bit that you're getting is the same and it's not different. It's not like you're not getting 100 instead of 1,000 or something because of the lettering looks different on it. So that's something. And also you got to know which is negative and positive on them, and they usually have marks. Like one way to tell is the length of those. Like one is positive and one's negative, or sometimes they'll have a mark down the side to say which is positive or negative. So you just need to research. If you're going to do this yourself, you just need to research. You need to research about the parts. And another thing you need to know as well is, apart from just making sure you get the lettering right and the rating, like I don't know if you can see that, but that actually says 47. I think it's UF or something. It's the same symbol as what's on that one, so I know it's the right one, and I know it's the right voltage because it says 450V and 47 whatever it is. The thing to be aware of is you do have volts and you have VDC, which I think is volts direct current. So there's a difference between the direct current and the alternating current. So you gotta know whether you're getting a DC or an AC or something, or just a normal volt thing. So when you're ordering the parts, it just pays to pay attention to what whether it just says volts or whether it says volts AC or volts DC. It's just something you got to be aware of. The other thing I was going to say, sometimes you get these which they kind of look like caps as well, but they've actually got tubes underneath them, and basically this metal, because they can amplify such fine signals. I'll move this back a bit so you can see better. Because they amplify such fine signals, you don't want them to pick up extra sound from outside, so this basically shields them, and basically what it does is, by having the metal earth running around it, it stops outside noise coming in and ending up out through your speakers and stuff. So basically that's why that's like that. So these are just covers, and they're tubes as well. So that's just something to be aware of. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh yeah, so I've ordered all these parts and stuff. These ones, I'm not gonna. What some people do is they'll cut this open. They'll take all the stuff out the middle, and they'll fit the new ones inside. Like they'll fit 3 of them inside there, and then they'll wire them up. But to me that's kind of complicated because I don't want the wires crossing and touching if there's lots of different ones in there, and I don't want the thing blowing up. So what I tend to do is I'll probably just leave these there because they're a hassle to get rid of, and I'll put these, if there's enough room underneath, I'll just put these underneath and wire them in, and I'll remove the wires from this, and I'll just connect them to these ones as if that was in its place, except that it'll be underneath it, just out the way and stuff. Anyway, the other thing I was going to say, and it was something important, I'll just see if I can remember what it was. Oh, it was something anyway. wasn't about getting electrocuted. Oh, I was going to say make sure it's not plugged in, and do make sure you do the research about how to get the power out of these to Earth without getting electrocuted, because you basically want the power to come out of these, like even when it's unplugged they still have power. You want the power to come out of these back to ground, okay? So they're safe to use. Like I can, the outside, I don't know, you'd maybe be unlucky to get electrocuted when it's unplugged, but when you start soldering and removing, cutting wires off them and that to put the new ones in, you have to be very careful not to get electrocuted by them, okay? So definitely, if you're going to work on an amp, research how to, a safe way to deal with this, with electrolytic caps that store power, okay? Anyway, you could probably search things like how not to get electrocuted by capacitors or something like that, or draining caps. Draining capacitors will probably come up with an answer and a safe method. Okay, anyway, enough, I won't go on about that now. The other thing I was going to say is before you start working on the amp, the best thing that you can do before you remove parts is basically to go through, replace one part at a time. Like, don't go through and like bloody disconnect everything and then try and think, oh, now was that the one that went there or did that one go there? What you're best to do is get a really clear digital camera and just take lots of photos if you can, and basically even once you've got your photos, if you can put it in paint or something like the program, and you can even write beside it, you know how you can draw in your pictures on the computer. If you can do that, and you can, if you're not sure, you can, or even write beside them what the bits are if you want, but usually a clear photo will let you know what bits go where, or what the parts are.